This is the No Offense, but the podcast. And I'm your host, Shake 'em Jake. Got a new host this week, Jay Brown from Let's Have a Drink and Talk About It.
What's going on?
My last co-host, as we talked about last week, is, in other words, a fucking asshole. And he will no longer be on the show. Still ain't heard from him. Literally, since I did the live stream, I have not heard from him. And that's been like, what, 2 weeks ago?
Something like that.
Still haven't heard. Nothing. Supposed to have a guest on this week, but we mutually agreed to reschedule. So, might be seeing him next week. Don't know yet. Ain't really set shit back up yet. We gonna get it together. But yeah, the new co-host with me this week. It's gonna be a good episode.
Yes. Check me out over on YouTube. Let's have a drink and talk about it. I'm also streaming on Facebook.
Definitely, I'm gonna put the link down below. Down below. Maybe up top this time.
My streams depend on my work schedule. Right now I'm looking at Sundays at 7. My schedule changes. I like to do it Saturdays at 10 p.m.
Speaking of schedules, I've had like the most fucked up work schedule this week.
You really have.
I don't know what that was. 9 to 6, 9 to 7, 8 to 4, 8 to 2, 8 to noon, 9 to noon. What the fuck?
It's been pretty messed up.
That schedule's bipolar.
Can I tell you something? I'd love to have that schedule. Off by 7 o'clock every night.
Mine even.
Huh?
Mine even. I'm off at 7.
Right. I mean,
or
I'm
before
working
7.
For almost 5 years now. I have done nothing but work until 9:30, 10 o'clock every stinking night.
But
I
you've
did that
heard
Dairy
some
Queen.
of the calls I've dealt with at work. 9 to 7 is a little fucking long to be dealing with crazy ass fucking people like that.
Remember, the freaks come out at night. And they get hungry.
Oh, man.
And then they come into where I'm at.
Oh, man. Yeah. I didn't have too bad. I think I had 5 calls today. Literally. That's it.
Yeah, you didn't have too many this time. But it's also Sunday.
Yeah, I didn't have no disrespectful people today either. Well, I had one disrespectful guy. He got mad because I was trying to give him the right answer, so he hung up on me.
Bye, Felicia.
Not the answer I wanted to hear, but it's the right answer.
He was a New Yorker, if that makes any sense. That tells a whole fucking
Well, New Yorkers
lot.
are totally different.
Yeah. Them and they're fucking trying to find the khakis. Trying to find the khakis. Car keys. Them and fucking people from Boston, man. Heavy ass accent.
Right.
Sheesh.
It's almost like a totally different language.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, when I
Your cousin from Boston.
when I worked in Florida,
Yeah, them
I worked
singing
with,
on
like,
Adam commercials.
I worked with like 4 or 5 people that were Puerto Ricans from New York. Okay? And they're like, no, we're different than other Puerto Ricans. We're like New Euricans. That's what they called them. So you said, we're New Euricans. Everything's different. Their accents are different. Their language, there's variances in their language and everything like that. And yeah, it's just totally. In Boston's like that too. Boston. But yeah.
So, what? 3 Fridays ago, I got my tooth pulled out? No. Last Friday?
Yes.
So, the Friday before that.
Is when we took her to the vet.
Scott Hall passed away. So, I really didn't get to, like, say anything on air about it. So, this week's salute, toast, goes to the late, great Scott Hall, a.k.a. Big Diamond Stud, a.k.a. Razor Ramon, one half of the Outsiders, 1/16 of the NWO, because it was like 37,000 motherfuckers in that group.
Wolfpack in the house.
Yes. Too sweet. But this is for him. Rest in peace.
What was it? About the bad guys?
Oh yeah. Say bad times don't last forever, but bad guys do.
Yep.
I found it really surprising that not a lot of people knew about Diamond Stud.
Yeah, I didn't really know about Diamond Stud.
That was his first WCW appearance. He was a part of Ted DiBiase's crew, and Ted DiBiase jumped over.
Gone too, isn't he?
No, he's still around.
Is he too?
Yeah, he's still around. He actually works with AEW now, and he's still got the $1 million belt and running around with it.
Oh, Paul Orndorff is who I was thinking of.
Yeah,
Mr. Wonderful.
yeah.
Paul Orndorff.
But yeah, when he first went to WCW, him and Diamond Dallas Page were a part of the Diamond Exchange, which were Ted DiBiase's goons. And I think he left there and went straight to WWF and became Razor Ramon. Left there and formed the fucking Outsiders with Kevin Nash. Then the rest is history. You didn't see him no more in the WWE until well after WCW was gone. But
So who was your favorite manager?
oh, my favorite manager? My favorite manager.
And all of wrestling. And we'll cross corporations and so on and so forth. Screw all that BS. Who's your favorite manager?
Bobby Heenan. Bobby the Brain.
Mine was a toss-up between the beautiful Miss Elizabeth and Mouth of the South Jimmy Hart.
Man, that's always my second go-to. Mouth of the fucking South.
And
He's
Miss Elizabeth
responsible.
only because I like the way she looked. She was beautiful back in the day. Let me
That
tell
was
you
Macho
what.
Man's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
She
Yes.
left him for Lex Luger, and all that shit went down. She died. And
Yeah.
yeah. Bobby the Brain, man.
Bobby the Brain Heenan was cool.
He had a sense for the business.
Yeah.
And he was a loyalist, so you didn't really see him jump shit like you see, like fucking Macho Man and Ric Flair and everybody else, and you really didn't see that jump from him. I had somebody ask me the other day, like, who dead or alive, who was like my favorite wrestler all time. And like a lot of people like Stone Cold, The Rock. No, Pat Patterson. Pat Patterson is one of my like all-time favorites.
I was a big fan of Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
Oh, Jimmy Superfly.
I was. Flying Brian Pillman. He was another one.
His son wrestles with AEW now.
Does he?
Fucking, he got into some shit about some homophobic racial shit he just said, but
Eddie Guerrero.
yeah, the Guerreros.
Ricky
yeah.
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Oh man,
Remember
Jimmy
that?
Snuka got caught up in a murder rap.
Yeah.
Ended up dying before they could
Yep.
get him.
Rey Mysterio.
He still
Mysterio
wrestles.
Jr., Yeah.
Him and his son wrestle as
Yeah.
tag team now.
Who was it?
Yeah.
Somebody made a jab at him when they was like about to wrestle.
Oh yeah,
and he
it was
said,
the Miz. And
Yeah,
he
the
said,
Are you,
Are you sure that's your
not?
son and that's not Eddie Guerrero's kid?
Because he's so
Because
tall.
he's so big.
Like
And it's like, holy shit.
Rey Mysterio will be on his back, like riding his son's back, like a piggyback ride.
Right.
What's
The
his
Miz,
son's name again?
Dominic.
Dominic.
The Miz,
Dominic
the Miz
Mysterio.
just pulled his fucking mask off on wrestling not too long ago. Pulled his mask. I mean, I've seen Ray without his mask.
Right,
Yeah, I remember
but
when he wrestled before he put the mask on.
Right.
Back when he was...
It was with the luchadors and shit.
Yeah. Well, there was... Back when the NWO first started, Ray didn't wear a mask.
No, because he
Right.
actually had lost his mask in a mask match.
Yep.
I can't remember who he lost to, but they pulled his fucking mask off, and then I remember the whole world going, "That's an
'Cause him and
ugly
K-Dog
motherfucker."
Him and K-Dog were tag team partners.
Yep.
And he was the giant killer.
They had
knocked
the LWO,
Yep,
Latino
the
World
Latino
Order.
World Order. Yep, him and Eddie Guerrero.
And then he ran with Homicide for a minute, which
Yep.
was like Conan and K-Dog
Yep.
and Homicide himself. But nothing, I don't think nothing really compares with ECW. ECW was a fucking madhouse. It was an absolute madhouse. New Jack was probably one of my favorite wrestlers around the ECW era. That dude didn't give a fuck. He stabbed one of the referees in the head with like a pencil or something.
No shit.
Like full on was like stabbing him and cutting him and shit.
Who has the most tragic story, in your opinion?
Owen Hart.
Yeah, hands down.
I watched that happen. I watched
Hands
it.
down.
I remember watching that. It has to be
Well-
between Owen Hart and Shad Gasper.
Well, actually, no.
Or Benoit?
No, that's
Actually-
not tragic. That's fucked up.
Well, yeah, that
Actually-
is kind of fucked. That is real fucked up.
Actually, the most tragic story in wrestling history would have to be the story of Bret Hart. Because of all the shit with Owen,
Oh, yeah.
with Chris Benoit.
The Canadian fucking screw job.
Yeah. I mean, but Owen Hart factors into that. I mean,
Yeah.
as far as the ones that actually are no longer with us, yeah, it would be Owen Hart.
As recently though, Shad Gasper is the one that kind of fucked me up a little bit. He went out into the water with his kid. His kid wandered out, and he begged and pleaded for people to get his kid and save his kid. And before they knew it, he was gone.
Yeah.
They ended up finding his body, but he ended up drowning. He
remember
couldn't
that.
swim for shit.
Yeah.
But they used to be like one of my favorite. He was a part of Crime Time. They're like my favorite fucking. One of my favorite tag teams, and it's big stereotypical black tag team. They steal everything and they dress crazy, and it's like fucked
Do you
up.
remember?
man.
What was it? The Varsity Club?
Oh man,
That's where. What's his name? Chris.
Chris Jarrett? No.
No. Olympic wrestler. Mr. It was USA. What was his name? Cocky son of a bitch. He hooked up with the Steiners when he first came in. He was Olympic U.S. Olympic wrestler. Not Mr. Was it Mr. It wasn't Mr. Perfect. Shorter than that.
Yeah, Kurt Hennig.
Kurt. No.
That was Mr. Perfect. Kurt
It
Hennig.
was
he did.
it was
he did
Kurt
too.
Angle.
Kurt Angle.
Kurt
yeah.
Angle. Yeah, that's when he first broke in. They were with the Steiner brothers.
Isn't that who
Scott and Rick.
Kurt Angle broke
Right.
his fucking neck and kept fighting.
Isn't that who Ronda Rousey just like she mentioned in one of her like raves to Charlotte?
Oh yeah, because she been working on the ankle lock. I guess Kurt Angle's been training Ronda Rousey, and she's like, "I want to break your freaking ankle." And I was like, "Oh, how Kurt Angle specific that was," because Kurt Angle's like, "I broke my freaking neck, and I still want a gold medal." He's like, cocky son of a bitch.
Yep.
But now they're trying to follow suit with that Alpha Academy shit. That like screams Kurt Angle, and it just irritates the
History
fuck out
repeats
of me.
itself.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sorry, but those are the wrestlers. Your Kurt Angles, your Steiners, Steiner brothers. Those are the guys that actually.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not all flash.
Rick-
The shit works.
Rick Steiner's son is actually wrestling
Is he?
now. He wrestles under Braun Breaker. He's a big ass boy too. He was going to be a football star, and he was like, "This ain't what I want to do. I'd rather wrestle."
Right.
And then there's somebody else's kid who's coming in. Road Warrior. He just died.
Not Animal.
Was
Hawk.
it Hawk that just died? Because it's
It was Hawk, Beast, and Animal.
it was Hawk and Animal. Beast was kind of like
He was the third string.
kind of
Yeah,
iffy.
he was the.
But they got a brother, John Lauren. Their actual last names are Laurinaitis. John actually works front office for the WWE. Well, one of their fucking kids, man, was like a top college prospect, and I don't know what's going on now. I seen him doing some wrestling shit, and I'm like, I hope you didn't fucking jump out of football to do this wrestling shit. But I mean, with that opportunity comes, so I definitely understand. Look at Pat McAfee, like
right.
I definitely understand.
You want to talk about top college prospect in football? Guess who's trying to choose a college? Arch Manning.
Oh shit!
The front runner, from what I understand, is now Georgia.
Bulldogs.
And guess who's going to finish last in the NFL in 4 years?
Colts. Y'all get that? That's and we talked about that the other day. It's going to be another Manning in Indianapolis.
Yep.
Just hope he ain't fucking Eli status.
No, from what way I understand it, he is better than both Peyton and Eli at the same point in their career. He's obviously he's got a better football IQ. I mean,
he can run too.
Yeah,
He's third generation.
Yeah, he'd be third generation quarterback.
It's Cooper's kid.
Yeah, it's Cooper's kid.
Right.
Cooper was a receiver.
He's gonna pick up for what Cooper lost because Cooper was a bad motherfucker.
Cooper was quarterback turned wide receiver.
He was supposed to be better than Eli,
but he got injured
and he got hurt.
Well, now you got to remember though, he was quarterback turned wide receiver.
Right.
He was the oldest of the bunch.
He was a bad motherfucker though. I was just watching film of him the other day. Like Jesus, if that dude would have made it into the NFL,
he was like Sterling Sharp. Remember how Sterling was better than Shannon?
He reminded some of his video. He reminded me of. I can't even fucking think of his name now. I think he played for Tampa Bay for a while.
Wide receiver?
Yeah.
Trying to think of a standout wide receiver that the Buccaneers had.
He got into some trouble in the later years. He wasn't with the Bucs no more, but he ended up getting into some trouble. I can't fucking remember what his fucking name was. But it's kind of like the playing style that he reminded me of that specific dude. Stop. I was actually sitting there with my dad talking about that same fucking guy, and I can't even remember his name.
I mean, next to now Tom Brady, the best player Tampa Bay Buccaneers ever had was Leroy Selman. And I'm not mistaken, he played both sides.
They had Keyshawn Johnson too, didn't they?
They didn't have Keyshawn.
They had Keyshawn.
Steve Young, you want to count Steve Young, but he sucked when he was in Tampa.
Yeah, he wasn't all that great.
He was fresh off of Canada or something.
He wasn't all that great.
Akima.
I thought it was Keyshawn that played for Tampa.
He might have started off maybe, but I remember him as a Jet. I think he played for the Jets.
I know there was one person that just really didn't get the fucking shine. No. Cordell Stewart.
No.
Yeah. First quarterback in NFL.
He played for Tampa Bay from 2000 to 2003.
No. Okay. Cordell Stewart, first quarterback in NFL history to rush for and throw for 10 touchdowns in one season.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
No. He was a bad motherfucker.
Yeah. Cowher stood behind him, too. He's like, this man took us to a championship game.
They didn't give him a shot, and he saw the game for what it was, and he left it behind.
Yep.
I don't think I watched him play for any other team after Pittsburgh.
No.
It was over with.
Yeah.
And he was damn good.
He was the
man.
In my opinion, he was your perfect dual threat quarterback. Like I said,
and
back then it was new.
Jacoby reminds me of him fucking bad.
He does.
I couldn't. That's the last time you was here, and we was talking about him. I was like, man, he reminds me of somebody, and I can't put my fucking finger on it. It's Cordell Stewart.
Well, Obi-Wan Jacoby doesn't. He scrambles. Mm-hmm. He's more of a Fran Tarkenton type. He doesn't take off with the ball. He doesn't gain yardage out of his runs, which can be changed. Right. You know, you get somebody in there to coach him up right, he'll get yardage out of that.
Yeah.
You know, your perfect dual threat quarterback because he's not that bad of a receiver. What killed him in Indy was that injury.
See, unpopular opinion, and I've had a lot of people express hate for what I'm about to say. I think one of the greatest quarterbacks to not win a ring is Michael Vick.
Michael Vick?
Oh, yeah. I'll give
you that.
He should have got one in his Atlanta days, but their front office was shit.
But
they couldn't give him the people he needed.
He may be one of, but the greatest quarterback to never win a ring is Dan Marino.
Oh, yeah. All day. All day. He
And
made
a very
me.
close second would be Fran Tarkenton.
As a child, I was a Dolphins fan. As a child, like, yo, this is my squad. Because I really didn't have a team being a child, but the Dolphins. It was either the Dolphins or the 49ers. I'm still a 49ers fan to this day, but the Dolphins was like one of my squads, and now I pick nothing but Cali teams.
Well,
except for hockey, Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah, I think
and even now that Vegas it's in Vegas, you still root, sorta.
Well, you got to think.
You're trying.
I was born in the early 70s. Okay, very first football game I ever watched was Super Bowl 15. It was the Raiders versus the Eagles. Okay, Jim Plunkett, Ron Jaworski were the quarterbacks.
We are Marshall. Or not we are Marshall.
That was the first game I ever watched, and I was hooked. Okay, but the teams that were big right there, it was right in the middle of, or right after the Steelers' reign, right after their 4 Super Bowl. In fact, I think the Steelers won the 2 following. But so, boom, I was a Steelers fan. We didn't have a team here in Indiana. You know, I was a big-time Steelers fan. My favorite cousin was a Steelers fan. You know, so that's who I rooted for. Of course, Dallas was big back then. The Raiders were huge, and then that went right into the Niners Cowboys rivalry thing that they had going. That they played up this year during the playoffs. You know, so yeah, there's a special place in my heart for the Niners and the Cowboys.
I became a Rams fan when they was in St. Louis. So when they moved them back out to LA, that just made it all the more sweeter. It's like, we back in LA now. I'm definitely a fan. Because at the time, before they moved there, the only teams I had out this way was the Pirates, which is baseball.
Right.
The Pacers, basketball, which I still fuck with the Pacers. They still one of my squads, but yeah. Hockey, Chicago Blackhawks, and the Nashville Predators. And then everything else is out west. I don't have any other fucking teams. Unless you count like the Montreal Expos, but they're not even a fucking team no more. So
I tried to get into hockey there for a little while.
Love it.
And
it's boring. I love it.
At the time, the hockey team that was like at the top of the league, like year in, year out at that point, was the Edmonton Oilers.
The Oilers.
And I was like, hey, Oilers, that's football. Because back then it was the Houston Oilers.
See, I started off a Maple Leafs fan, man. Wayne Gretzky brought me into hockey. Yeah, and Gretzky. I'm going to find that fucking game. I got the baseball. I got the King Griffey's home run derby. I got it. I got to get the fucking NHL Wayne Gretzky 99 for that mother. Or was it No, it was Wayne Gretzky's 94, 95 or some shit. But I played the fuck out of hockey. FIFA, I've been playing soccer for years. It wasn't like how it is now, but yeah, like Wayne Gretzky is what got me into
He
hockey.
was the greatest hockey player.
Oh yeah,
probably of all time.
Him and Mario Lemieux.
Yeah.
Love.
Well, Brett Hall, you got to put him in the conversation.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah. When you think hockey, you think Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah. At least
just
our
like
age, we do.
Right. Just
now,
like,
if you ask kids like Adrian's age and Maddie's age to actually like watch for it, they're gonna say someone like Kane from the Blackhawks or some fucking random ass squad, somebody from the LA Kings or something.
It's just like you talk about skateboarding or BMX or Tony Hawk. Boom. That's the first person you think of when you think of skateboarding or your bike trickery and stuff. You think of Tony Hawk,
right?
You know, or your snowboarding. Who's the first person you think of?
Shaun White.
Shaun White.
You know, when you say football, Who's the first person you think of? Well, there's like three names.
I think of a gang of fucking people.
Right, you think of a gang
Walter
of people.
Payton, Barry Sanders, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. I'm thinking of every fucking
Roger
body.
Staubach, Terry Bradshaw,
man.
Johnny Unitas,
Ronnie Lott.
Joe Namath, Ronnie Lott, Earl Campbell. In my mind,
man, Eddie
was
George.
probably Earl Campbell was a beast, man.
When people like
It was
literally the first name I think of when you say football is O.J. Simpson.
right.
That's the first name I
Right.
think because he had a hell of a career. It didn't span that long, but he was the juice. You couldn't fuck with him. And then he gets out and he kills somebody and you still can't fuck with him.
I had a
The juice
question
is on
come
the
across.
loose.
It's 4th and goal on the 1. You're down by 4. 5 seconds left to go in the game. Who's your running back? My reply was Earl Campbell.
Ooh. That's a
'Cause you
tough
ain't
one
stopping
for me.
him from 1 yard out.
That is a very tough one for me. I'm either going Lawrence Taylor
No, running back.
or you say running back. I'm either going Barry Sanders or Marshall Faulk.
I would go.
Maybe.
I would go with Marshall Faulk over Barry Sanders for 1
But I
reason.
gotta have the Indianapolis Colts Marshall Faulk. That's the one I gotta have.
Actually, the St. Louis Rams Marshall Faulk statistically was better, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah, but the Colts
reason-
one, man, he was running shit
The
over.
reason he was better was because the Rams used him better. They threw it to him more. Marshall Faulk, I believe, was the first running back to catch and run, catch 1,000 yards receiving, 1,000 yards running in a season. Or, yeah, 1,000 yards rushing, 1,000 yards receiving in one season for a running back. The Colts almost had him there.
Yeah, almost.
The Colts laid the foundation for the Rams to do that. And I was watching, it was Peyton Manning's birthday here earlier this week. And they were showing highlights from his career. And one of the best things I ever saw was Peyton Manning throwing a touchdown pass to Marshall Faulk. They played together for 1 year, Peyton's rookie year. It was Faulk's last year. They traded Faulk off for a 4th-round draft pick to get Edgerrin James, which wasn't a bad deal. Edgerrin James turned out to be a pretty decent running back for the Colts. Not so much for the Cardinals, but he was for the Colts.
There was one running back, though, in his prime, I would pick him in that situation. Ricky Williams.
Ricky Williams.
That's a name that's often forgot about. And when you do say his name, it's synonymous with marijuana and hiding out in the fucking
Okay. The
Bahamas.
problem with Ricky Williams was he never panned out to what they gave up to get him.
He was too mental.
He was.
He had too many problems going on. He was a damn good running back, but it was too much shit going on in the background.
There ain't too many running backs. I'll give this to him. There ain't too many running backs that can sit out an entire year just because their mental health ain't right and come back and still be a premier running back.
Right.
Which he did. He did do.
A lot of people I know, they probably would have picked like Adrian Peterson, and it's like AP is in prime, but
AP.
I mean, okay. Emmitt Smith holds the career
That's my AP.
yards rushing record. Okay? Career rushing yards record is held by Emmitt Smith. Okay? But you know what? As a running back, if I played for 20 years, I'd probably have it too. You know what I'm saying? I think Emmitt Smith is. I don't want to take anything from Emmitt Smith, but compared to some of the other running backs that only played 8 years, Barry Sanders, 10 years. I mean, he played twice as long as every other running back. It took you 20 years to get that rushing record. You know what I'm saying? So, no, you're not all that. I mean, Emmitt Smith was a damn good running back, don't get me wrong. But it took you 20 years to get that. I mean, quarterbacks are barely playing that long today. I mean, you got Tom Brady. What other quarterback has been in the league for 20 years?
Right.
And they protect the quarterback. They don't protect the running back.
I think if
no, easy.
She mad. She mad. She is mad. But yeah, I think
She pitbull man.
if we would have seen, I think if Bill Goldberg would have never got injured, he probably would have been the best defensive players in the NFL.
He was a linebacker, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
He broke his neck. I think that's what he said he did. He broke his neck or something.
Do you remember Kevin Green?
Yeah.
He played for the Steelers for a while. Ended up in Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
He signed a contract to where he got X amount of bonus if he got over a certain amount of sacks every year. Well, 1 year, the team told him to chill out. Otherwise, we're going to have to cut our starting quarterback. That's how many sacks this dude got 1 year. I believe he was playing in Carolina at the time. The quarterback was Jake Delhomme.
Oh, man.
But
you know what I want to do? You want to go to New York, right? That's one thing you want to do.
Kind of, yeah.
I want to go to Bobby Bonilla Day at Mets Stadium. Bobby Bonilla. He's a player that signed a fucking sweet-ass deal to where the Mets have to pay him like $1.4 million every year until 2038 or some shit like that. But it's a limited amount of baseball players that have that deal. Like Ken Griffey Jr. has that deal with the Reds. They have to pay him all the way up until like 2025. So they need to go ahead and give Ken Griffey his day so I can like make my way to Cincinnati, because that's only about 3 hours down the road. So less than that. And we can go to Kings Island in the meantime. But yeah, definitely
more
want
than
to
that
do
down
that.
here, Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah, Cincinnati is fucking popping.
Hey, stop by and get you some Skyline chili.
Oh man, they got a Skyline Chili at Kings Island.
Yeah. Well, they got a Skyline chili right up the road here.
Nobles is it Noblesville?
It's no, it's actually in Anderson.
Oh yeah.
They got one in Anderson. Cause it's right across the street from my doctor's office.
Yeah, I definitely want to.
Yep.
I used to hang in Cincinnati tough. It's a fucked up story, and to this day I kick myself in the ass for it. So I took off with some family members. The deal was they're going to Kings Island. They would take me for free if I babysat the kids. And when they got done with rides, I could ride whatever I could ride. And then when they got ready to ride something, I had to watch the kids. Okay. So while I'm watching the kids, I go over and I start shooting basketballs at little you win basketballs and shit. I had a decent amount of money on me. So I love basketball, but the little sideshow games really don't get me. I'll pay for the kids to do them, but I really ain't gonna do them because I know it's some bullshit to them. And I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it because this hot chick is working the stand. So I get to shooting. I'm about $50 in. I'm winning basketballs to the point I'm handing them out to people walking by. And me and the chick that was working the stand, we end up talking, and I end up getting her phone number. My brother tries to come over and cock block, of course.
Of course.
And I get the phone number, and the following weekend I'm back in Cincinnati. So we linked up, had a good time. I stayed like a week, I think. Came back home. I went down again. I stayed like 2 or 3 weekends in a row. I'm not even thinking to write this chick's number down because it's in my phone. I got a phone for a reason. Not knowing how hard it is to get shit back on your phone at that time. I had a nice little AT&T incognito slider phone. Bad as fuck. My Cadillac, the window quit working. So my window was stuck down. Me and my cousin Zwan are driving from somewhere, and we're trying to hurry up to get where we're going. And he sets my phone on the dashboard. As I'm turning, my phone flies out of the window. And it's raining so hard, it's like, man, I don't want to get out to go look for that phone. Fuck, it's probably fucked already.
Midwestern downpours.
Fucked me up. Lost the phone, never heard from the chick again. Never heard from the chick again. But some of the greatest times I've had in Cincinnati. Besides the time we went and
I remember
we got the hotel, that was pretty fun.
I was in my early to mid 20s. I was hanging out with some people, and they decided they wanted to. They had a mission. I don't know what it was, but it was in Cincinnati. You want to ride along? Sure, why not? One of the worst birthdays I ever had, because I ended up. We stayed there so long that it ran over to my birthday. I remember going to a payphone and calling my mom on my birthday. And cause she didn't know where I was. Nobody knew where I was.
Adrian's still down here?
And
I think he's in the kitchen.
I mean, we were in like trash Cincinnati.
Hang on a second.
You remember Back to the Future, where they go into the future, and this is where old boy gets fired from his job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Remember how trash that neighborhood was? Yeah, that's what Cincinnati looked like. The part of Cincinnati I went to, that's what it looked like. I mean, it was horrible.
Fucking Detroit reminded me of that shit right there.
Oh, right?
Oh, God.
I've seen videos of people driving through Detroit and shit, and
It's like
that's
fucking wasteland, urban wasteland.
Yep. Yeah,
There.
every time I hear that Who song, Teenage Wasteland, I think of Urban Wasteland, and I think of Cincinnati and Detroit. I've never been to Detroit.
Easy.
They really going at it.
Mm-hmm.
Been to Michigan, just ain't never been
They
to Detroit.
just, oof.
Hmm?
She be getting her all riled up, don't she?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That's,
that's all right,
the
'cause-
pit bull in her.
Give her a little bit. She's gonna be bigger than.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Lulu ain't gonna know what to do.
Nah, she ain't gonna know what to do at all.
She's like, man, I used to be able to run over this thing.
Well, it's just like Gunny and Maldog. Maldog used to bully Gunny around. Now Gunny like a lot.
Yeah,
bigger.
Gunny took Jackson out. Like, just Jackson just got right back
He's
up.
so big, he don't know what to do with himself.
Yeah.
So, we're not doing no vacations for the rest of the year.
no.
It's kind of odd. I'm used to doing like some kind of vacation every year. Well, we did our honeymoon.
Yeah, that was our vacation
That
for
was
the
our
year.
vacation. Because I got to go back to work in June, so no more vacation days for me until that following May. But I think I said I wanted to do Christmas in the mountains around then. That'd be fun. Get a fucking cabin.
Yeah.
Our kids would attract bears and shit.
Wolves.
It'd be Jackson.
Yeah, leaving fucking Jello snacks and Pop Tarts
If
out
it's
on
Jackson,
the
you're
porch and
all right, man. Just put the wild animal in the room with him and let Jackson chew him up.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
Oh shit, that's something I definitely want to do though.
He's a sweet boy, and that wild animal will be like, huh, okay. And next thing you know, Jackson will have him all chewed up.
Yeah, they take all the kids because it is a lot of kid friendly shit to do down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lot and Maddie. Hell, we'll have all the kids most likely, but they got some pretty nice fucking Airbnbs down there. Really fucking nice. I think one we was looking at was like $100 a night or some shit like that.
That's actually cheap for that.
Nah, I think the whole trip altogether would have been like $1,000. I mean, and the house was set up for 8 people.
Of course, that's not counting gas.
Yeah, and groceries.
Yeah, who's to say
And
what
fun.
gas will be at that time?
Yeah.
Who knows?
We got thing it's only a 6-hour drive.
Gas is always the X factor.
Yeah.
Because state to state and so on and so forth, different areas, different gas prices.
Because if we take the money, we'd be better off renting one of them fucking Chevy economy vans or whatever, one of them big church buses. I know we do plan on at least
Here's a
going
yoga
out
mat. Go to
west
sleep.
in a camper at least once.
Yeah.
I feel like if we decide to do it in the camper, we got to go to where Trey is and visit them. If we do that with a
They're in
camper.
Washington now,
So
though.
yeah, so we would drive all the way to Washington and just drive down the Pacific coast.
Yeah,
and come
we
back
could
through the
visit
South.
Thomas, too.
Hmm?
I
Yeah.
said we could see
Get
Thomas,
one of those
too.
Thomas ain't too
extended
far
work
from them.
bands, man.
Yeah.
He's right across the bridge from them. They're in Seattle, Washington, and Thomas is in Portland, Oregon. It's right across the bridge.
Right.
That's what you do. You get one of those extended work bands, throw down yoga mats. Go to sleep on that.
Well, you know, there's a place in Noblesville where you can rent RVs.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, figure get a fucking 8-person RV. 8-person RV, you can technically take 9 people in an RV because one person's gonna be driving.
You got to think too that you have those captain seats, including the front seat, the driver's seat and the passenger seat. You have those captains; they recline back. Somebody could sleep in those if worse comes to worse.
That's why I said they like 8-person would be
Yeah.
like one of the ones on like the Ford box truck frames. And then you got one person constantly driving, so you could take up to 9 to 10 people.
Right. I mean, you wouldn't believe the things I've done in the front seat of a car. Bucket seats don't matter. Bucket seats don't matter. Because these days, shit climbs all the way back.
I had a van with a bed in it.
Yeah. Rodney Pfeiffer had this old tradesman van. Had a fridge and a bed in it.
Shit, I had that
That's all we
old
needed.
Ram B van, that Avenger. That's gone now. My dad sold it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Had a mushroom window. Your window, back window was in the shape of a mushroom.
This one had a starlight. It had the starlights on the inside.
Yeah.
Bad as fuck.
Who had a van like that when I was younger?
Rodney
Yeah.
Pfeiffer had a van like that. It was black. It was a black tradesman van. It was loud as could be. Used to set off car alarms going down the road.
Oh, my Ram used to do that.
Yeah.
That fucker was loud.
Yeah.
I miss that truck, but I don't miss that truck.
Yeah.
It was a decent truck. But
Favorite car I ever had was a '85 Toyota Celica.
and then
I hear
that-
you talk about your
GT.
Celica a lot.
That day, what was the day the gas froze in the Ram and your
Yes.
dad came and
Yes.
got everybody? That was fucked up. Yeah, don't use E85 in the wintertime. It don't work that well. I wasn't even out of gas. My gas just fucking froze. That was a sad. I had to pour gas on top of it to get the truck started.
Yeah.
Luckily, I didn't have a full tank of that shit. Normally, I'd have a full tank of that shit. I've never had that problem with vehicles until we got E85 vehicles.
Yeah, because
the
it
Yukon
did it with the Yukon. Yep.
and it doesn't because we got lucky.
E stands for ethanol.
Yeah.
Make you think it wouldn't freeze, you know?
Mm.
Yep. I mean,
it
but
does.
the alcohol does have a freezing point.
Yeah, it does.
It has a freezing
Well, I
point.
mean, everything has a freezing point.
Glycol does not.
Huh?
Glycol
Glycol?
does not.
Well, I mean,
Does
just
not.
like everything has a burning point or a boiling
Yeah.
point. You know?
Glycol is the easiest thing to set on fire, but the hardest thing to freeze, which is our gasoline that we traditionally use. Kerosene too. Kerosene doesn't have freezing properties either. Diesel,
Kerosene-
on the other hand,
Kerosene burns hot.
mhm,
That's why semi drivers have to like,
they gotta have block heaters and shit.
yeah, or like let their
'Cause
shit
if they ain't
run.
got no block heater, then yeah, or they
Glow
have to let their
plugs.
shit run. Yeah.
You know? Diesel's a totally different creature.
Now
Really.
you got all kinds of different diesel, off-road diesel, fucking regular diesel, biodiesel.
Marina vehicles are different too. Your
Yep.
aqua, your watercrafts and stuff like that. That shit's
I see a
totally
lot of
different,
people
too.
are
Batteries
actually-
especially.
I see a lot of people are actually putting car engines on their fucking boats now.
Dude, my uncle, I was a kid. Okay, so this is in the 70s. My uncle had a souped up 302 Boss in his speedboat. It was an inboard, and it had the just like tailpipes. That's how propelled it was, the tailpipes. But it was a 302 Mustang engine, is what he had up in that speedboat.
I had a buddy that had a Donzi in the port of Miami, and that motherfucker was the equivalent to these Chargers that are running around now.
Right.
It was a Charger on water. Bad motherfucker. This is a $300,000 boat, and that's base level. He's like, yeah, I got one, you know. I'm like, it ain't 600,000. He's like, nah, but it's a fucking Donzi. But that motherfucker would scoot. We actually went on a boat trip from Miami to St. Bart's, and it was like a little under 2 hours on this fucking boat, just straight muscling all the way there. Like fucking crazy. On land, you're probably doing about 75, 80 miles an hour.
It was at this time last year. It was maybe a little earlier than this. About this time. I went from here to, I was probably 152. I don't even think I was 200 miles from the coast. North Carolina, South Carolina state line. I got there in 24 hours, and no, I got there and back in 24 hours. I did. I got there and back in 24 hours. So I remember I went to work. I got up like I normally do. I went to work. So I was up for 48. I got there in 24, but I was up for 48 hours straight. I didn't sleep. I pulled over and shut my eyes for a minute or two, but we was in a no parking spot in BFE, and I didn't want to stay there too long.
Right.
I think the longest I've driven consecutively was from here to Flagstaff, 27, almost 28 hours. Only reason why we stopped, I was pissed off. That's the only reason why we stopped in Flagstaff, because I was kicking myself in the ass. I lost a debit card in Texas, so I'm kicking myself in the ass. I had to do some ghetto shit to get us some quick cash. I had to like wire the money to ourselves type shit, and the bank was closed. So we couldn't like have everything switched from her account to mine because we had the same bank.
Right.
Fucking got pissed. I stopped in fucking Flagstaff. I was like, well, we only 8 hours away. Fuck it. I'm not driving no more tonight. I'm pissed off. Fuck it. Getting to fucking the most crackheadest fucking Motel 6 ever.
It had a great view.
The great view.
Great view.
It had a
But
great
this
view.
motherfucker was, man, it was junkies every fucking where.
What's
And
this?
the room
fucking
we-
needle.
The room we had was actually clean though.
Yeah, it was. It was clean.
That's
But
cool.
it's like 2 rooms down there's fucking junkies and shit, and I ain't want to walk out to the car. You ain't about to stop me and ask me for $1.
They got a new customer every hour and a half.
Oh man, it was fucking nuts.
The room next door got a new customer every hour and a half.
I pretty much fucked that road trip up for everybody.
No, it turned out to be pretty
Yeah, we
great.
was
It was
supposed to go
good.
to the
I don't remember
4
most of the way
points.
back, but it's okay.
We were supposed to go to the 4 points where the 4 states meet. And because I lost the card, I'm like, we really ain't got the fucking money to do it now because I delayed us. I didn't want to drive no more. I could have kept driving, but we didn't have no money, so.
Yep. But one thing I've always been able to do is drive. Distances anyway. I can get from here to Orlando in 16 hours. That's what I used to be able to, because that's what I did. I drove from here to Orlando 16 hours. And that ain't even pushing it.
Right.
I mean, I stopped to see these signs. Topless cafes. Oh, I gotta check that out. Or no, totally nude cafes. That's what it was. It was totally nude cafe. Really, totally nude. I don't believe you. So I had to stop off.
Shit.
They're gonna charge you $10 to get in the door. They're gonna charge you $5 a drink, $5 a sandwich, and this has been 10, 15, 20 years. It's been at least 20 years. So yeah, I mean, that was ridiculous. But yeah, I could get from here in we're in the northern third of Indiana, all the way halfway through Florida, 16 hours. And remember, you got to go through Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you hit Atlanta at the right time though. You just skate right through it.
Yeah.
I will. I've never hit Atlanta at a bad time while I've been driving.
I've
I will
always
stop.
preferred car
I will
rides.
stop before I hit
Yeah,
Atlanta
I
during
ain't
the
never
day.
been really a plane person.
I've always preferred car rides. Even after I was on a plane for the first time, I still prefer car rides.
Well, I mean,
But
you
I-
get to
we-
see more, man.
That, and I mean, I've done it so much. Like, it's not... I mean, I did it with Grandma and Grandpa
Yeah,
going to
it
and from,
was.
like, the campgrounds. I've done it
Right.
with you guys moving back and forth,
And
you
your
know.
first plane ride was
I
like
mean-
the shittiest airline in like airline history, but
mean,
it wasn't a bad trip.
If you're flying,
The second
how are you
leg
supposed
was
to catch
bad.
Florida Man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to catch Florida Man if you're driving or
Like-
if you're flying?
Literally, we took Spirit from here to L.A. Because we landed in Santa Ana. Santa Ana is technically L.A., but that's when we went out to take Bam to Arsenique's.
John Wayne.
Yeah, so we landed in Santa Ana, John Wayne. But our layover was Vegas. So
McCarran.
after we leave Vegas, it's like the bumpiest fucking plane ride ever. Like, holy shit. But we were only in the air for about 30 minutes. And then, boom. Because we had to climb over the mountains and then
Right.
come back down. And
But
But
you might
from-
want to do some math, but it might be actually smarter to fly into Vegas and drive to Cali.
yeah, it really is. We could have saved ourselves like 3
Mhm.
hours. Because we sat at McCarran for like almost 3 hours.
Oh, my God.
I mean, do the
Nothing
math.
beats sitting
Don't-
there
don't
waiting to
just
come
do the
home
math
from our
time-wise, do the
honeymoon.
math money-wise.
We
too.
sat
Right.
in there for
Rent a
8
car,
hours
But
to
it
come
actually
home.
made it cheaper for us to fly that way. We just
Yeah.
lost a lot of fucking time. We probably would have paid $100 or $200 more to rent a car in Vegas and drive out and shit. But the plan was drop him off outside of LA and then we drove north 8 hours, which wasn't too bad considering we about got fucked out of a rental car.
Yeah.
That was horrible. That dude-
Finally, that Vietnamese
what was his
lady.
name? Boo?
Bo, yeah.
Boo or Bo?
It-
or
it
whatever
was
the
spelled
fuck his
Boo.
name is.
It was spelt Boo, B-O-O, and all I could think about was Monsters Inc. Boo.
No, and I
Yeah.
think Boo Radley.
This fucking guy though.
He was like some
we
Egyptian or something.
I reserved the car through Expedia. I called the day before.
dollar car.
Dollar. Well, yeah, but I did it through Expedia for dollar car rental. Called the day before, confirmed the car. We're good to go. The card. They should take the card. We get to Santa Ana. We get to like the little dollar rental car. Fucking
That baby's in the league.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's good.
We get to fucking the dollar rental car fucking booth or whatever. Put in our information. The dude's like, well, we got to do a credit check. I'm like, credit
What?
check? What the fuck? So I'm like, your credit better than mine. So they run Chrissy credit. He's like, can't do it.
Chrissy credit.
Let me see if we could take a deposit. So I'm like, fuck it. We got deposit money. I ain't fucked up about it. We alright.
We had already made a
He's
deposit
like,
payment.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, so can't really take the deposit, but what you can do, you got to call Expedia and get your refund. So Expedia is like, yeah, it takes 2 to 3 weeks. I'm like, what the fuck?
So just as we get home, we're finally
That's what
getting
you
need
like
to do.
a week
So,
after we got home or
I'm
some
like-
shit.
Dude.
I'm like stressed out and shit. I'm like trying to figure out what the fuck to do. Me being me, I'm like,
I'm in tears.
it's gonna work.
Feel like I'm about to
And I'm
throw
like
up.
telling her to like chill out.
Got
I'm
a
like, it's gonna
headache.
work. I got this. Don't worry. Well, as we were walking through the airport, past the rental car places, I remember, boom, fucking light bulb. I said, let's walk back towards the terminal. So we walk back towards the terminal, and I'm not seeing this sign no more because now the sign is on the desk. And we're sitting there, and I see the sign. I go up and I read it, and I'm like, I can get us a car. Fuck it, I can get us a car. Little lady comes out, little Vietnamese lady comes out, and she's like, oh no, that guy shouldn't have tried to charge you guys extra, and because he wanted us to pay, that boo guy wanted us to pay $1,000
for
to get a
a
car from
freaking-
Avis.
And
A
it was going to
convertible.
be a Mustang.
Yeah. So he's like, yeah.
And it started raining once we got through San Francisco.
Yeah.
So your convertible Mustang?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, it's going to be $1,000 deposit for. No, sir. No. So the lady at the counter is like, yep, I'm going to hook you up, and I'm going to upgrade, and I'm going to take this much money
it's
off.
called competition.
Well, she actually worked for the
him.
same company.
Really?
Yeah.
But she was controlling the enterprise desk. So what it was, they're so short on people that they've got one person from these rental car companies controlling 3 or 4 rental car counters at once. But they're doing it from one computer. And the lady like hooked us the fuck up. We got a little Toyota Accent or some shit.
I thought it was a Camry.
No, it wasn't
Corolla.
A Camry. It was a Corolla. We
A
got
Corolla.
a little Toyota Corolla.
It was bad. It was nice.
I got a little camera.
It was because what we originally booked for was like a Chevy Spark or some dumb shit.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it's a fucking Beetle car,
Right.
smart car. And she's like, "Well, I'm gonna go ahead and upgrade you for the trouble."
Walk to the
and
gas station.
Gave us an upgrade. She took $70 off.
Mm-hmm.
So we end up paying altogether like another $400 for this rental car. My son's mom, being the fucking stand-up woman she is, we tell her what's going on. She sends us $400
Cool.
through Cash App, so we're good.
Straight.
We already, because literally after we paid for the rental car, it was like $300 left.
Yeah.
That was gas. That was it.
Yeah.
She sent us $400 and then turned around and sent us another $400.
Mm-hmm. She's
So,
what got us through that trip.
She got us through that whole trip, and it was a damn good, fun fucking trip.
That's where I got to give y'all props with some of y'all's exes. You know,
Yeah.
you and him, you and her.
Well,
It's great y'all can work things out like that and help each other out. That's a beautiful thing. It
me
really
and
is.
Bam's mom wasn't always the greatest.
Well, I mean,
We weren't
people
either.
change, though.
Me and Chris weren't either.
Yeah, but you guys were actually together. That's a difference.
True.
Yeah.
We were.
Me and Arjanique were not together. It was just something that happened. I fucked up. I made a mistake, and I got a wonderful child out of it. But it took 8 years for us to get to the point that this bickering back and forth was
Right.
not
Right.
going to work. And it took me just breaking down and just being like, yo, like, stop. Like,
Right.
what the fuck? It took me getting into it with Rachel to come to Arjanique like, yo, we gotta settle this shit. This
Right.
is
I
ridiculous.
I think that's my issue right now with my ex is it's not necessarily her. Some of it is, but I'm an asshole right now. You know.
Dad, a lot of it is her.
Well,
I
I'm
know
an
you're.
asshole right
I
now.
know you're an asshole, but a lot of
still
it
sour.
is
But
her.
in your situation, I don't blame you.
Yeah, I'm
What-
still sour.
what
I
man
just
would
need
not
to get
be?
over the shit.
It's not even the fact of getting over it. It's the fact of acknowledging. You don't want to acknowledge it. You know you
No,
got to
I
get
do.
over it.
I do.
Yeah, but deep down, you don't want to acknowledge that shit. No dude wants to acknowledge that
No,
this
you're
is
right. I
done.
mean-
I've wasted this much fucking time.
Oh.
No one wants to fucking acknowledge that.
I know.
That's the worst part. But
No.
it makes it easier when
Worst
you...
part is I could understand it more if I actually
Right.
cheated on her or beat her
Did
ass or
something to be
like that,
fucking
but,
horrible.
Yeah.
But I found that common ground meeting you. That's where I was like, you know what? This is it. I'm done. I've got to move forward. Quit moving backward. Like,
Oh, it was a poof ball that we have no idea where it came from.
that's how that went. It was time.
Yes.
I couldn't take it no more. My mental health is not worth putting on the line for someone who's not even worried about their mental health at all. And I'm not speaking ill of her, but if I could go back and do shit different, I probably would. I love my daughter to death, but I would probably go back and do shit different. It's one of them situations where you're happy for the child, but you wish it was with someone else. don't know who I would want that child to be with, but that's one situation where, nah. I would go back and redo that moment in my life. If that makes any sense. Not a whole lot I would go back and do in my life. But it sounds horrible. It really does. It sounds fucking horrible.
I love Sienna.
It sounds like I'm a horrible parent and I don't love my children. I love my children.
We love Sienna.
But yeah,
she's amazing.
That is my baby.
She is the greatest.
That's my baby. Love her to death. That is my...
She is the sweetest ever. She really is. She
is my everything.
She's kind.
She is what really keeps my head on and on a swivel. That's my child.
Most definitely.
That is me all over again. And I'm willing to jump out in traffic to make sure that this child does not do the same bitch ass shit that I did growing up. I would hate to see Sienna be a female version of me because there's gonna be a lot of broken hearts. Child, don't get my house shot up, please. It's gonna have dudes like shoot my house up. Just oh man.
Amber had little boys throwing rocks at the windows and shit.
I don't want no little boys threatening to harm themselves and shit. Like no, right. Sienna's gonna be that type of girl. That's what I'm afraid
told
of.
My ex.
I'm afraid of Sienna being that type of girl.
Lottie's first date, he can pick her up from my place.
Oh, Sienna already know the demo. I can ask her right now. When you bring home someone for prom, what's going to happen? Dad's going to be there with all his friends and all their guns. Den of thieves type shit. Fuck that. I'm going to be on some bad boy shit.
I knew you was about to reference that.
Fucking Reggie? 13, motherfucker, you look 36.
Chitty chitty bang bang.
Chitty chitty bang bang, motherfucker. I am that parent. I don't give a fuck who boys mama get mad. Best believe the only reason why you mad is because me and my homie was doing that shit to y'all back when we was that age. So stop being mad. Just know we not going. That shit follows down. History repeats itself, goddammit. Shit.
Every time boy comes to the house, I didn't say shit to him. I just give him an eye. I didn't say shit. I hardly ever talk to him. I just give him an eye.
See, I'm a talk. I'm a definitely talk.
It was a more long-term thing. Christopher was more long-term thing, so.
Yeah, he was quiet himself.
Right. But motherfuckers come up in that habit.
Zach was a little different
back then
too.
I didn't have guns either.
Zach was a little different too.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't last like super long. He was kind of long, but not really.
Any dude.
Evan was in and out.
Any dude Sienna brings home is going to get the 3rd degree. Any girl that Destiny brings home is going to get the 3rd degree. It's going to be that fucking rough. You're walking into jeopardy, motherfucker. Call me Alex Trebek.
Let me know when she has a first date. I'll come over.
Oh, fuck. I'm going to be horrible. But I am the type to poke and prod, so I'm going to make it very lighthearted. But there's going to be some seriousness involved.
Yeah, a couple times they're going to be looking at you like, what the fuck?
I like the clown. But I'm just waiting on the day for her to come home and be like, so-and-so's mom said that I couldn't date him because you're my dad.
Hey, she is like my only granddaughter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She is. She's the only girl.
Besides Destiny, but
I met her like once.
Can't call her a girl. She's something. I don't know what that is.
Well, no. I don't care.
They're Ajax.
Ajax.
I don't really care. See, that's something else you have to think about. Unpopular opinion. You're still biologically this,
right?
In a lot of ways.
The way I
emotionally sometimes. physically a lot.
The way I was brought up,
You know,
it was always thought as a scream for help. And that's what I originally thought. I mean, the kid has
Been through a lot. A lot.
not as much as me, but it's
It's
very
still a
similar.
lot.
It's very similar. She lost her mom at a young age, and she's got family pulling her in this direction. And then it don't make it no better that dad's not really around a lot, which I take total responsibility for that. But how the fuck can I be?
right?
I have no rights to this child. I'm not on her birth certificate, none of that. But at the end of the day, it's like I thought it was a scream for help, and it's really not. That's what she wants. So
My mother-in-law used to tell me that I always gave my kids a safe place to land. And maybe that's kind of an approach to take. I'm always here. You need
Yes.
somewhere to go, you come here. You know?
There's only one thing me and him bump heads
whatever your
with
problem is, we'll work
in
it out.
that's
We'll find a
similar.
solution. You know?
That's the only parenting thing we bump heads on.
I've never bumped heads with my parent. Well, my dad.
No,
dad,
I mean,
yeah,
like,
but
I don't know how to explain it.
I kind of know what you're talking about, but
And there's nothing wrong with bumping heads either.
No. I got a lot.
Oh,
of,
no.
That just makes everybody stronger.
I got a lot of life lessons out of that. I never bumped heads with Jim and Christine.
Yeah.
Something I'll never do. My dad, I will wholeheartedly bump heads with him, but we've got the relationship now to where
Right.
he needs me more than ever, and I'm accepting that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing I can do about it. I would
And-
rather you need me than me need you.
And,
Type
and
thing.
in doing so, recognizing that, and you're willing to give a little more than what you might have 10, 20 years ago.
Oh yeah,
You know
most
what I'm
definitely.
saying? You grow up, you mature.
The stuff he would have asked me for
Yep.
today, I probably would have ended up trying to fist fight him.
Right.
'Cause
Right,
that
right.
was the type of child I was.
That's part of it. And not only that, and the fact that they chose you, you know, to ask for help from. You know, that has to carry some weight. And being mature enough,
Right.
you understand
And I'm
that.
the only one of his children that are within 5 minutes of him. So
You know?
that makes a whole hell of a lot of difference too. But I have expressed the
So many
feelings that
different things go into
when that day comes, I want nothing to do with it. I don't want any of that burden. Financially, mentally, none of it. I will be mentally okay knowing that there's no more pain and suffering.
Right.
But don't put me in a position to have my own in pain and suffering because of financial issues.
Right.
So I refuse to be a part. I've got sisters for that. Y'all want to be a part of something, then I'm going to let you be a part of that right there. But as far as day-to-day shit, I'll handle that. Nothing comes out of that house but what I decide to take and what I decide to give away.
Right.
Not going to deal with it, period.
You know, that's something. I have fathered 6 children by 2 different women, and I've been. I don't necessarily consider myself a good father, but I'm obviously not all that horrible either, because all of my living children love me. You know, if I was a horrible father, they wouldn't have anything to do with me. I mean, we're all right here in the same county except for one,
Yeah.
and the one that's no longer with us.
Right.
So, and the one that's not here
Calls you every single day.
all the time, and you know, and that's fine. You know, I love to hear from her. If I go 2 days and she doesn't call me, I get to worry a little bit.
Yeah, she's just that
You
type
know?
of, yeah. Yeah.
She drains the happiness out of me. I'm not gonna lie. I get irritated, but I'm just an irritable person, so
I get
it doesn't take a
really
lot
easy.
for me to get irritable. But
Right.
it's been situations where I've
It's either you can deal with her or you can't.
Well,
And we know her, so
and it's been situations
27
where
years.
I've tried to talk some sense into her.
about
and
228.
she took
Yeah.
it as to where
28.
I was like coming at her, and it's like, no, this is shit you need to hear.
Yeah.
No one else is willing to tell you this, so I'm gonna fucking tell you because I'm not nobody to you anyway. So
Right. And you know what? And everybody needs that.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's going to be brutally honest, you know? And that's actually a better friend than somebody's going to lie to you.
I've got one
You know?
friend that's like that, Robbie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Robbie's my own, and Nick Easter, and that Matt, but Matt's gone. Matt's the only one that could tell me about myself and me not get offended and want to fight you and do crazy shit to you. But Matt, Nick, and Robbie are like the only ones that can be like, "Hey, bro, you being a fucking asshole. Like, you need to chill the fuck out."
Right.
And me not be like, "What the fuck you say to me, motherfucker? I whoop your ass." Couldn't no regular motherfucker come off the street and be like, "Hey, bro, you being an asshole." I'm like, "I'm being a what? You don't want these problems."
That's Hendrick to me.
Yeah.
You know? He'll tell me you're an asshole. Don't do that shit.
That's why me and him get along.
Right.
Me and Chris Andrick are like damn near the same
Well-
person.
Well, he's got a certain way of telling you straight up, brutally honest, mean as hell, without being mean as hell.
Yeah.
About it.
It just comes easy.
Right.
So I was his team leader for a little while at work.
I love Chris. I love him.
And, we had the supervisor, John. Chris did not like John. He thought John was like the most senile motherfucker ever. And Chris was volunteering to come over to my department. So once you volunteer, that's your ass. Because you can't be like, nah, and you can't tell the supervisor no. John puts him on the grinders. Worst job fucking ever.
Oh, you're the newbie. You get the shit job.
So I walk over to check on Chris, and Chris is like, "What machine you on?" And I was like, "I ain't on no machine. I'm your team leader." He goes, "What?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I'm going home then." I said, "Just make sure you go to the nurse's station before." I was telling him how to go home and shit.
I worked with Chris at Hollis Myers.
And then
Help
he
you
was
get
with
hired.
me. He was with me the day I knocked over all the parts on the dock, and they took me off the fork truck for 2 days. He was back there, and he's the one that like he tried to like help me, and it was fucked up because day shift stacked some shit up, and it wasn't stacked right. So when I went to put my stack in there, it knocked their shit over, and the momentum took my shit on top and dumped it over. So I dumped about $10,000 worth of parts on the fucking ground.
Mm-hmm.
No good. And Chris is like, I seen that shit. He was like, that box back there was fucked up. I was trying to wait for you to stop, but you just kept on going. And they said, I know, I had to get on the radio and be like, man, I need a manager back here. I just knocked some shit over. So they come back there and Chris is like, it wasn't his fault. Whoever staked that shit up behind it, y'all need to check them tags. So they checked the tags and it was day shit. They only took me off the truck for 2 days. So they can investigate the matter. But I was right back there, and he's like, I thought they was going to fuck you up. I was like, I thought they was too. Shit, I ain't never hit nothing in here.
I remember I worked with Chris. They had to fire him. I can't remember why. I don't think it was actually anything he actually did wrong. But we used to have these meetings every week. Okay, I think it was on Fridays. And James Horner was a store manager. He pulled him into the office before the meeting. And we were all sitting out there waiting for the meeting to start. And he had his office was all windows. Okay. And all I saw was Chris go, pull his shirt off, wad it up, and throw it at him. I was like, oh, shit.
Chris
And
don't
Chris
give a
goes
fuck.
storming out.
Chris don't give a fuck. I knew he was done with Chrysler when he got the fucking safety job, and they took it from him and put him back on the line because of a clerical mistake. I was like, yeah, he about to quit.
Clerical
That
error.
motherfucker quit and fucking moved. I
You
was
know-
like, I thought he was lying to me. He's like, yeah, I'm going to Florida. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. You lying, motherfucker.
And then that shit happened with, what was it, his hand or whatever?
Yeah, he broke his hand at work or
Yeah.
some shit. And then all of a sudden he was gone.
I learned a long time ago, don't volunteer for shit.
Mm-mm.
Don't volunteer for safety officer. Don't volunteer for white. You're not getting paid anymore. Don't do any more work than what you need to do. Because that place don't give a damn about you.
It's like the team leader job. I didn't volunteer for that shit.
Right?
I got automatically selected because nobody wanted it.
Now,
And I end up being the shit at it.
now, don't get me wrong. I have prodded and prayed and pushed for other positions, but I was getting paid more to do those jobs.
Oh, yeah.
But, no.
I remember pushing myself to get a high up position.
Right.
And then it just wasn't even worth what I thought it was going to be worth.
Oh, no, management never is.
And see, now I'm just itching.
And you have to have the right store manager.
Yep.
Like your head manager has to
Yep.
be the right store manager, or it just does not work.
I am itching to get back to Chrysler now. Because I know walking in there, if they tell me some unreasonable shit, I'm like, fuck you, suck my dick, I quit. I have a fuck you attitude now. You shouldn't have let me come back. Period. Because now I know what I'm capable of. I know what I'm capable of. I know what I can
Right.
make. I know what I'm worth. I spent 7 years dealing with you motherfuckers. And they brainwash you in that motherfucker to not know your worth. They want
Yep.
you to be known by a number.
Yep.
1558961. That's what I am in their system. My prison number 191478.
Yep.
So that is definitely the same shit to me. So it's like I learned my worth being in that place, and I like watch people, especially a couple motherfuckers on Snapchat that I used to work with, that are weird as fuck. They glorify that place, and I'm like, no wonder why your home life is
Yep.
fucking terrible.
See, that's
Yeah.
that's where I'm having a little bit of issue with myself right now. 5-10 years ago, supervisor want to call me in the office, say I'm not doing a good enough job. You know what? I deal with that. I do better. I can do this. I can do it better. Last week they called me into the office. You need to do a better job. Here's my keys. I am in a physical decline, and my shit's just gonna get worse.
Right.
It's not gonna get any better. And I told her, here's my key. I can't do any better than what I'm doing right now. At this point in time in my life, this is where I'm at. And I physically cannot do it anymore. And that's not even talking about the mental and emotional part
Right.
of the crap.
That's just physical.
You know, right. So, I'm burnt out. And not only that, but the fact that with as long as I've been there compared to everybody else, and I have asked and begged and pleaded to be put on a different shift, and y'all just ignore that.
Right.
Nah,
That's like when
have my shit.
it's
I'm
like
done.
when I got called out in Cali in October with the bullshit from the union.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't trip not one bit. I was just like, whatever.
Yep.
These motherfuckers wanted me to catch the first flight out and come straight to work.
Yep. Well, I have been at that place.
No.
There's only one person that's been there longer than me, and that's the store manager. And I don't even want your opening shift, your
Right.
primo shift. No, I just want to give me a mid shift. I want to be off by 6-7 o'clock every night.
See,
I've been,
It just
can't
amazes
even give that to
me.
you.
Right. And it
You hire
shouldn't
other
be that
managers.
hard.
You hire other managers and put them in those spots, but
Yeah.
not me.
And see, it amazes me, like, leaving that job, and, like, I became sort of friends with people in those places, and, like, I kind of have to see them on social media because we're friends and shit, and I'm, like, seeing how fucking miserable they are.
Yep.
Like, from October till now, I have been happy. truly fucking happy. I was happy working the job, but I had to tolerate the job, and me tolerating that job is leaving on my lunch break the little 18 minutes I got and going to the liquor store,
Right.
Because it's right across the street,
Right.
or going in and drinking a fucking 6-pack before I go into work.
Yep.
Like, I shouldn't have to do that going to a job,
No.
and I didn't want to do that. So it was a bit of relief.
Nobody wants to do it.
I think I slept good on that fucking airplane on the way home. That was relief sleep.
Yeah.
Knowing that I did not have to go back to that place that Monday, that was relief sleep. Like, fuck you. I'm going to find something. And I end up finding something I'm actually good at. Now it's kicking
Before
me in
we
the
even
ass.
left.
Like,
Yeah.
It's
Before
just
we
like
even left.
she was like, your closes compared to the other closing manager, the difference in the closes are night and day. I'm like, you think I don't know that? I already told your boss's boss that my shit ain't like it's supposed to be. My shit's lacking. Can't help it. It's just the way it is. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to me. What do we do about it?
Right.
You know?
Get somebody else's clothes.
Right.
They don't want to look for that solution.
No.
Don't nobody want to close.
No, because that's store level. Like I said, I went to not the chick that was not the assistant manager, not the store manager, his boss, the area manager. I went to him and told him, I ain't what I should be. My stuff's slacking. I can't help it. This is the way it is. You know? And he thanked me and appreciated the fact that I came to him about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Still ain't nothing being done. They let me go down to 6-hour shifts instead of 8-hour shifts. So you know what I got? My store manager coming to me, telling me that he wants a doctor's note saying that I can only work 6 hours. I'm like, what? He's the one that suggested it. Because I was going to go down to part-time. I wasn't thinking about 6-hour shifts. I was going to go drop straight down to part-time. He was like, no, let's not do that. Let's do this instead, maybe.
Right.
And so that's what I did. And he's went in documents and stuff.
It's bullshit.
But then I ain't heard nothing since I said that, since he's the one that suggested it. That's why I did this. Because otherwise I'm going down to part-time, which is the next step down anyway.
Right.
So, which is what I'm considering. I put in for a vacation day. And I'm hoping that puts me through. If not, you know, like I said, I'm just waiting for disability. Hold off as long as I can on these 6-hour shit. It's killing me. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Especially on Saturdays because it's the 5 days straight. You know, I work the Tuesday through Saturday, and that fifth day is just is horrible. You know, because I don't have the time to rebuild. You know, to get rested up and
Right.
to build my strength back up. So Saturdays are really bad.
Sound like Chrysler.
Yep.
Monday through Friday, and all of a sudden you're getting forced into doing 8-9 hours.
Right.
On fucking Saturday.
Right.
They're forcing you 9 hours on Friday and forcing you 9 hours on Saturday.
Yep.
Yep.
And
Make it
then-
make sense.
Yeah. And then they're gonna holler at me. You had this list of stuff that we had to get done by this certain day. You had it for 3 days, and you're gonna spring it on me on the last day.
Yeah. And you don't even have the manpower.
Exactly.
To get
You're not
the
even
stuff-
gonna give me extra help to get it done.
Right.
You know, I told him, I was like, if you would have given me that list when you got that list, there would be little to no overtime. There is no working until it's done. Because I would have spent the last 3 days getting all this
Breaking
stuff
it
done.
down into those days, getting it done.
Exactly. Breaking it down and getting it done. But no, you're going to spring it all on us on the last day. No. No, I left when I was scheduled to leave. And, yeah. And that's why I got a unwritten verbal warning. Is what it was. Unwritten verbal warning. Because I was scheduled to leave at 9:30.
And you
And
left
that's when I left.
at 9:30.
Because you knew you can't do that. Go ahead and fire me over it. Think unemployment's going to think any different of it?
Right.
You knew. Oh, he was scheduled out at 9:30. Yeah. And I understand management, you have a little extra responsibility and you should stay a little over. And you know what? I did that this week. I stayed over a little bit because the truck was late.
Right.
Shit.
And there were certain things that had to be done. And I'm not going to lose product because of something like that.
Right.
So, and it's not like I had plans that night. So yeah, I stayed over. But I waited all week. Nobody mentioned anything about staying over.
Mm-mm.
So the night before you throw this on me, I made plans. And I've already lost too much, in part because of my job. Too much in my personal life, let's put it that way. Because of my job. I'm ready to find that balance. You know?
Work-home balance.
Yep. That work-home balance. Work-home fun, you know, work-personal life balance.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not happy with it because I've always been their dog.
Oh, yeah. My old boss was trying to get me to come back for a while. I'll pay you more. I'll pay you more. It's not about the money.
No, I've always been their whipping boy, and I'm not doing it anymore, and they're not real happy with me about
I
it.
put so much time. I would stay over. I would come in early. I would
Yep.
come on my days
That
off.
job was driving me crazy.
And
To me, you want a better life, you got to work for it.
mm-hmm.
Okay? I'm coming to realize that that doesn't always mean employment.
Right.
Sometimes you have to tell your employer no
Oh, yeah.
to have that better life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, shit that I'm going through right now is part of that. I remember a couple summers ago, hey, so-and-so's having a bonfire. Let's go to it. Go ahead and go, and I'll when I get off work, I'll come meet you all out there. Well, no, you know, when I get off work, it's 9:30, 10 o'clock. By the time I get out there,
It's pretty much over.
it's over.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I'm not doing that anymore. You know, I'm scheduled off at 9:30. That's what I'm getting off, 9:30.
Yep.
Now, like I said, there are times if I don't have anything going on, yeah, I'll work over a little bit. I don't, you know, I'll give a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
There are things. The truck actually broke down on the way here. Can't predict that.
Mm-mm.
So, yeah, I didn't have any plans. I'll hang out a little bit, make sure things get taken. And that wasn't good enough for him. That's why I got called into the office. Yeah. Oh, they said truck got here at 22. Yeah, truck got here at 22, and it took him 25 minutes to figure out how to back into our dock because we have an unusual dock. He didn't start unloading until 5 after 9. You know, we have lives too,
Yeah.
and I'm starting to realize that more and more. I mean, it's like you don't want to drive 45 minutes one way every day. I mean, especially at these gas prices.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And he doesn't exactly drive a fuel-efficient vehicle.
Exactly.
Nope.
Exactly.
Neither one of his vehicles are
You know.
fuel-efficient.
And something pops up.
Gas guzzlers.
I
something
have
pops
one
up.
myself, but the other one is pretty decent on gas.
Yep. Husband and wife get to go be sociable with another couple. Hey, I'm going to jump on. Oh, you got to work over today. Oh, no, I don't. You give me no notice.
Yeah.
No, I'm gone. And you know what? They can't do a damn thing about it because you gave them no notice.
Yep.
You know? You gave me no notice. You know? Yeah, I'm a little salty. I poured almost 6 years into this place. In my later years. And still treated them like I was younger than what I am.
Well, I mean, look at Steak and Shake.
Hmm?
And, I mean, Dairy Queen.
Yeah, I mean,
This is like the best job I've had.
And I know
It's
that
easy.
what I'm hoping for isn't perfect. I know that. I'm stupid to think that it is. But it's definitely a step in the right direction.
Oh yeah.
And I will have
Hey.
I will have more control over how much I work and when I work.
Makes sense.
It does make sense.
It makes a lot of sense. Kind of what I do now.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Kind of.
Fucking tax people.
Ready
Yeah.
to exit this thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this has been
The No Offense But podcast. And I'm your host, Shake 'em Jake, along with Mr. Jake. Tonight,
This is Sunday night.
yeah, it's a wrap. So, yeah, definitely keep an eye out for his YouTube channel. Let's have a drink and talk about it. Also, you can find us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/nooffensecrew. Same as for Twitch and everywhere else. Live shows middle of the week. Should be one this week. I didn't do one last week. My tooth got pulled. I was looking retarded. But hey.
People.
We out of here. Catch y'all next week.
Later.